Welcome to the Fearfully and Wonderfully Me podcast, a podcast designed to help you increase your influence, develop your leadership, and maximize your results. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast episode, Fearfully and Wonderfully Me. Thanks for stopping by. Today's podcast episode is all about staying your course because here's the deal. We're entering into just the last 2 or 3 weeks of the year, right? As this podcast comes out, it's the middle of December. We're headed into the home stretch before Christmas. And the thing about Christmas and the holiday season, and it brings with it so much joy, right? So many good things. There's extra celebrations and maybe extra time with family and extra parties and all of that. But anytime you add something to an already full plate or an already full life, it's pretty normal and natural for most of us to let something go. I mean, if you've already got a full schedule, a full life, a full plate, and then you try to add something on top of that, something's going to fall off, right? Something's got to fall off. And that's normal and natural. But my point here in this podcast is to encourage you to think about that and be intentional about what you're saying no to or what you're saying yes to, what you're letting slide and what you're letting replace in your life. So this came to me um, last week, last Monday. I was in spin class last Monday, and right before the class gets started, the instructor's kind of chatting with people as they come in. Good morning, how you doing? And this one lady comes in, and she's a regular. Like, she's usually there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every time spin class at 5 o'clock in the morning happens. She's usually there, but she had not been there the previous Friday. And so the instructor just said, "Hey, good morning. We missed you on Friday. Glad you're back. Welcome back." And she said, "Yeah, I didn't come on Friday because we were going to have a holiday party after work. And I didn't want to be too tired for the party. So, because I had to get up early to go to spin class," she said, "so I slept in. And so I wouldn't be too tired to go to the party." Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And kudos to her for managing her schedule so that she had the energy to do what was most important to her that day. Recognizing that energy is not infinite, that time is not infinite, we do have to be intentional about what we're saying yes to and what we're saying no to. And so kudos to her for recognizing that and figuring that out in advance. But here's my point. A lot of times when we start to get into this season, the last couple weeks of the year, it's all too common for us to let the important things slip because we start saying yes to the holiday parties and the get-togethers and the cooking extras and we start saying yes because Christmas brings with it extra, it brings with it extra parties and extra celebrations. It brings with it extra cookies and extra calories and extra brownies and extra presents and extra stress. It does not bring extra peace and extra rest. So my point here is that it's all too normal. We get to this point, the last couple weeks of December, you got holiday shopping, you got Christmas goodies to pick up, and those last minute Christmas gifts, and oh, I forgot somebody, at the front desk of the bank or whatever it is. But my point here is typically what happens is we start to let the important things slip because we start adding all the other things and something does have to go. So I want to encourage you to think through what's more important to you in these last couple weeks of Christmas based on your values and your goals and the direction you're going. Would you have chosen to go to the spin class or sleep in from this, skip the spin class so you had more energy to enjoy the holiday party? And the decision is absolutely yours. Right? There's nothing right or wrong about either one of those choices. If you can't do both or don't want to do both, choosing not to do both, you must choose one or the other. Which one would serve you better? Because a lot of times we get to this point in the year and we say, forget about the exercise. It's less, it's like, why exercise? I'm going to eat some more pumpkin pie and pecan pie. And so there's no point in going to the gym anyway, because I'm just going to gain a few extra pounds. and I'll get busy and I'll get back to it in January. That's what it's very common. It's most of us get to that point, right? Where we're just like, I'm just gonna enjoy the season, eat what I want, forget about exercise. I'll start back in January, right? We tell ourselves that. But here's the thing, it's all about consistency and really being intentional. Even in the holiday season, even in the Christmas spirit, what's going to serve you better in the next couple of weeks? And sometimes we say yes to the less important things just because of social pressure or we feel obligated. It's funny, I'm a member of a running club here in our local community, and they have an annual get together, and it was last week actually. And they send out invitations and emails and Facebook notifications, and everybody's like, "Oh, are you coming to the?" And I'm like, "No." Because that doesn't serve me best based on what I'm doing in my day that day, based on where I'm going. I'm gonna get together with a bunch of people that I don't know, at a restaurant that I wouldn't normally eat at because they don't really have healthy food that I like to enjoy, and talk about pretty much anything but run. Just much of nothing but running, which is what we do when we run. So and it's funny, those kind of conversations, you go to parties like that and you're like, oh, I just want to hang out with people I know, and I already hang out with them, right? I mean, I'm running with them a couple of days a week. So my point being, it was when I started to think about it being intentional with what I say yes to. I don't have to go to that Christmas party just because of social pressure, right? And I'm not saying that Christmas parties are bad. I'm just saying I want you to be intentional and stay your course. The last 2 weeks of December, your priorities and values don't become less important just because Christmas is coming. And in fact, I would tell you that, particularly, I don't know if it's like this for everyone, but particularly this season of year where it's dark much longer, right? Daylight comes much earlier and the sun comes up much later, and it's colder and it tends to be dreary weather more of the time. Like, I need the things that keep me grounded more in this season. And if you're going through extra stress during the Christmas season, maybe because you are busier and there is more chaos and you've overcommitted yourself to too many things, then it's absolutely even more important not to let go of the things that keep you centered, the things that keep you grounded, right? Whether that's being committed to getting 7 or more hours of sleep every night, and that means you have to go to bed a little bit earlier, then that's a decision you need to make, right? If the gym or exercise is what helps keep you stay centered and balanced, then don't push all of that away in the next couple of weeks just because you got more parties to go to. If anything, if you're eating more pecan pie, you might need to do a little extra. No, you really can't earn your food in the gym, and so I'm all about moderation. If you want a cookie, that's great, but don't throw in the towel on your goals and say, I'm going to have 20 cookies because they look good and I need to sample every one, right? So maybe you need to make some modifications. Maybe it means a little less time of exercise. Like maybe you do 45 minutes and maybe now you could do 30 and get a little extra sleep, or maybe you can make some small tweaks and still get something in there. But that's up to you, right? So all I'm saying, again, you got 2 weeks, and well, a little over 2 weeks before January 1st rolls around. And there's so much momentum that comes in with the new year. We'll be talking about that in the next couple of weeks, and how to really set your goals and priorities for 2023. But I want you to stay your course, right? I want you to think about and be intentional this holiday season, this Christmas season. Going into the new year, I want you to have a head start on your goals. I want you to not have gained an extra 5 pounds because you gave up on yourself. Because then you feel like you're starting behind the curve, and it's hard to get momentum when you're starting uphill, right? It's so much easier to get momentum when you're starting rolling down the hill. And I know this stuff is tough, but we all just need those reminders of Don't get complacent. Don't get stagnant here just because Christmas is coming around the corner, and don't make yourself promises that you're not going to keep and say, "Oh, it's going to be better next year." Demonstrate that and build that commitment with yourself by starting now, getting a little bit of a head start, right? Running into January, and you'll be ahead of the curve. You'll be ahead of the game. And so make sure that you are staying on top of your intentions and your goals based on your values and your priorities. That's what I'm here to just remind you. And I know I've said it several times already, but I want you to just think about coming into the next few days. What are the opportunities that you need to say no to? What are the things that you choose to say yes to? And are they moving you forward in this holiday season? Until next time.